And let me begin by saying, I was a mayor for 8 years. I worked very closely with our police department. Being a cop today is a very, very difficult job. And the vast majority of police officers are trying to do their best. Cops, and I learned this, live under enormous stress. Divorce rate is high, pay is not particularly good, scheduling is crazy. But, having said that, it goes without saying that police officers, like any other public official, must be held accountable when they break the law. I want to see our police departments well paid. It is a tough job, and many police officers are working for poor wages, poor working conditions. I want to see our police departments move into the area of community policing, becoming part of the community rather than being seen as an oppressor. When I watch on television some local police departments who have heavily militarized all kinds of this fancy equipment which makes it look like they are an invading army, that's wrong. People have got to perceive that the police are part of them, that they can go to the local police officer, there's a crack house down the street, or this guy's dealing drugs, have confidence. That's the kind of police department we need, not a police department that comes in with tanks and heavy-duty equipment. And by the way, we have got to move now also, you all know the police departments are run by local governments, not the federal government. But federal government can play an important role by coming up with models that work. And one model that we have got to push is that police departments should represent the diversity of the community, should look like the community. As I mentioned, being a police officer is very difficult. I remember vividly seeing the situation when I was mayor. There was a fight that broke out downtown Burlington. Blew me away. We had just one cop there. He was going nuts, trying to separate people, minimizing force. Did an extraordinary job, minimizing force. What we need in this country is to make sure that using the gun is the last resort, not the first resort. Getting back to the fact that we have more people in jail than any other country on earth, we need to take a hard look at the so-called war on drugs. I find it remarkable that many young Americans have received a criminal record for the crime of smoking marijuana, but not one major Wall Street executive has been prosecuted for causing the collapse of the American economy. All of this stuff, the drug stuff, is complicated stuff, and I'll be talking about it more in the campaign. But we have too many people in jail, too many people in jail for non-violent crimes, people who are not a threat to our society. We want people who are going to be killing people to be locked up, but not people who have committed non-violent crimes. Too many lives have been destroyed. Not everybody realizes this, You get sent away for a year or two. People say, well, yeah, it's too bad, a year or two, but you're going to come back and you're going to get back into life and go out and get a job and go to school. That's not the way it works. You go to jail for a year or two, then you come out. You try to get a job, and the employer says, where have you been, young man, for the last 2 years? Oh, I've been in jail. Have a nice day. Hard to get a job. And then if you can't get a job, earn some money, what happens to you? You end up going back to the same people you got in jail trouble with in the first place. End up in jail again. We need a path out of jail that does not result in people coming back into jail. So there's a lot that has to be done in terms of criminal justice. And I'll tell you one other thing, and a lot of people have talked to me about this, and we're going to introduce legislation when Congress reconvenes in September. And that is, we must end the injustice and the absurdity of private corporations making profits by building and running prisons. All right. So we need to make sure that people are not profiteering off of the suffering and misery of other people. So this whole issue of criminal justice is a huge issue. I've only touched on a few of the points. But we have a lot of work to do in this area. Now let me touch on another issue that I think is enormously important. When we talk about bringing America together, all of us should appreciate there are 11 million undocumented people in this country. I was in Phoenix last month and I talked to some young kids, Hispanic kids, grew up in the United States of America, tears in their eyes, fearful that they would be deported or their parents would be deported. We need to provide legal protection to undocumented people. We need to move toward immigration reform, comprehensive immigration reform, and a path towards citizenship, in my view.
What about the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution that allows for slavery?
All of you know that there was a great debate in 2002 and 2003 and stuff about going to war in Iraq. I voted against the war in Iraq.